The Chicago inheritance game. The call came at 7:03 p.m. on a Tuesday in October. The kind of gray evening when the lake wind slaps the windows of the old brick two-flat on Damon Avenue like it's trying to get in. "Mom, it's done," Lauren said. Her voice was crisp, rehearsed. "The house closed this afternoon. The car too. We wired you a little something, 25 grand. That should cover a nice senior apartment. Love you. Bye." Click. Antoinette Moretti, 71, widowed 6 months, still wearing her late husband's Notre Dame sweatshirt, stood in the kitchen holding a phone that had gone dead and a heart that felt the same. 25 grand. For a 3-story greystone that had been in the Moretti family since 1919? For the 1957 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham her husband Tony had restored every Sunday for 35 years. She set the phone on the counter next to the untouched lasagna she'd made for the twins' birthday. 2 candles still in the drawer. They hadn't come home in 3 years. Antoinette poured herself a finger of the grappa Tony kept above the fridge, raised the glass toward the ceiling, and whispered, "You always said they'd surprise us, Tony. You were right." Then she smiled, because Tony had left one last surprise of his own. The manila envelope was taped inside the drop ceiling tile above the basement workbench. Tony had shown her the hiding spot the week before the aneurysm took him. "If the girls ever get too big for their britches," he'd said, winking, "pull this down. Not before." She hadn't touched it until tonight. Inside, deeds to 6 diners along the old Route 66 corridor from Cicero to Joliet. A 49% stake in a real estate trust that owned half the new condos on Milwaukee Avenue. A handwritten letter in Tony's blocky mechanic script. "Tony Bird, I never wanted them chasing money. I wanted them chasing meaning. If they ever sell your home, let them think they won. Then show them what winning really looks like. All my love forever, Tony." Under the letter, a flash drive labeled Lauren and Logan, eyes only. The twins arrived back in Chicago on a red-eye, sunburned from Coachella, arguing before the Uber even reached baggage claim. Lauren, the elder by 7 minutes, wore oversized sunglasses indoors and carried a Birkin that costs more than most people's rent. Logan, the creative one, had new neck tattoos and a man bun that looked like it was trying to escape. They breezed into the greystone expecting to find their mother crying on a futon. Instead, they found a for sale sign already gone and a locksmith changing the locks. "Mom," Lauren called, heels clacking on the oak floors. Antoinette stepped out of the kitchen wearing pearls and a smile sharp enough to cut glass. "Girls, perfect timing. Coffee?" Logan frowned. "Where's all our stuff?" "Storage," Antoinette lied smoothly. "Senior living doesn't come with 3 floors of memories." Lauren's phone buzzed. Notification from the title company. Subject: rescission of sale. Fraudulent documents. Her scream rattled the stained glass transom. The next 6 weeks were a masterclass in controlled chaos. Antoinette moved into the tiny studio above Moretti's original beef and sausage on Taylor Street, rent-free, courtesy of the trust Tony never told a soul about. Every morning at 5:30 a.m., she flipped the open sign, brewed espresso the way her mother-in-law taught her in 1972, and watched the city wake up. Across town, the twins discovered their influencer sponsors had vanished when the background of their Chicago mansion shoots turned into an empty greystone. The Cadillac had been repossessed by a mysterious LLC called T&M Legacy Holdings. Their joint Amex was declined at the Violet Hour. Lauren tried to lawyer up. The attorney took one look at the forged power of attorney and laughed. "You notarized this at a UPS store in Santa Monica? Good luck." Logan started GoFundMe, help us rebuild after family tragedy. It raised $43 and a lot of side-eye. Thanksgiving Eve, the temperature dropped to 19 degrees. Antoinette was elbow deep in a ricotta for cannoli when the back door of the diner creaked open. Lauren stood in the alley, wearing Logan's hoodie, mascara tracks frozen on her cheeks. "Mom, the Uber driver took my last 20. Can I come in?" Antoinette handed her an apron. "Cannoli station. You pipe, I fill, then we talk." Logan arrived 20 minutes later, smelling of dive bar gin and regret. He took one look at his twin piping perfect spirals and burst into tears. Antoinette didn't hug them. Not yet. She pointed to the mountain of unfilled shells. "Each one of these feeds a family tomorrow. You want forgiveness? Earn it, one dessert at a time." They piped until 2 a.m. December became January. The twins moved into the 2 bedrooms above the diner. Bunk beds, 1 bathroom, South Side sirens at 3 a.m. Their new routine? 5 a.m., open the diner. 8 a.m., deliver meals to St. Pius seniors. Noon, Instagram live from the grill. Real Chicago, real food, real consequences. Night, inventory, dishes, and Antoinette's nightly question: "What did you learn today that money can't buy?" Lauren's answer, week 3, how to apologize to Mrs. Kowalski when I accidentally gave her decaf. Logan's answer, week 5, that the guy mopping the floor used to be CFO of a bankrupt crypto exchange. Humility looks good on everyone. February 14th, Valentine's Day. The diner was packed. A local news crew filmed a segment, "From influencer to Italian beef, Chicago's viral redemption." At 9:07 p.m., the flash drive moment arrived. Antoinette dimmed the lights, plugged the drive into the ancient TV above the register, and pressed play. On screen, Tony, alive, sitting on the Greystone's front porch. "Hey, princesses, if you're watching this, you did something stupid. That's okay. I did stupid things too. But stupid is fixable. Greed isn't." He listed every diner, every condo, every account. Then he looked straight into the camera. "Your mother is the majority owner of everything I built. She always was. I just signed it quiet so you'd never take her for granted. Prove me wrong or prove me right. Your choice." The diner went silent. Lauren dropped a tray of cannoli. Cream splattered like snow. Spring arrived with the smell of thawing hot dog stands and possibility. The twins sat at the corner booth with legal pads and a dream. "Lauren, we turned the 6 diners into a co-op. Every employee gets profit share. We train kids aging out of foster care, free culinary program." Logan, and the Greystone becomes a women's shelter. Moms who lost everything to bad men. We know the playbook. Antoinette listened, arms crossed, eyes soft. Budgets? Lauren slid a spreadsheet across the table, numbers in black, not red. We worked the breakfast shift for 3 months to learn what things actually cost. Antoinette signed the transfer papers that night, not as a gift, as a contract. Summer solstice block party, Taylor Street closed from Halsted to Ashland. The new sign above the original diner read, "Moretti Family Kitchen, established 1954, reborn 2025. Lauren wore a chef coat with her name stitched in cursive. Logan flipped sausages while telling kids debt is a teacher. Tip your teachers. At 8:42 p.m., the firework barge on the river shot red, white, and blue over the skyline. Antoinette stood on the Greystone's front steps, her steps again, watching her daughters pass trays of cannoli to cops, nurses, and formerly homeless moms who now had keys to the upstairs apartments. She felt a warm hand on her shoulder. For a second, she thought it was Tony. It was Mrs. Kowalski holding 2 sparkling waters. "To second acts, Tony." They clinked plastic cups. 1 year later, October again. The Chicago Tribune ran a Sunday spread. From hashtag to hometown heroes, the Moretti twins pay it forward. Inside the greystone, now painted butter yellow, a new corkboard by the door held thank you notes from shelter residents. Lauren's favorite? Dear Miss Moretti, you taught me cannoli and courage. I start culinary school Monday. Maria, age 19. Logan added a post-it note beneath it. P.S. Maria's tuition paid by the breakfast shift. Tips. Who knew? Burnt coffee could change a life. Epilogue. The night before Christmas. Snow fell soft and thick on Damon Avenue. Antoinette locked the diner at 11:58 p.m. after serving free lasagna to every cop on the midnight shift. Upstairs, the twins had dragged the old kitchen table into the living room. 3 stockings hung from the radiator, L, and T&M. Antoinette poured grappa into 3 tiny glasses. Logan raised his. To Dad who bet on us, even when we bet against ourselves. Antoinette clinked. To stupid mistakes and second chances. They drank. Outside, the city lights twinkled like a million hidden envelopes waiting to be opened by someone brave enough to look. Inside, 3 generations of Morettis, 2 breathing, 1 watching, showed the same roof, the same heartbeat, and the same quiet certainty. Home isn't a house you can sell. It's a story you keep rewriting until it feeds everyone who walks through the door. And they lived, messy, loud, cannoli-filled, ever after.